You're a coward. And God will deal with you. My God will deal with you.
Our crew on scene Wednesday as a woman runs screaming after the shooting.
I seen a bunch of people crying. Something I didn't want to see. I don't really want to say it, but I seen a body land on the ground. I didn't want to see that also.
So, in the early hours of April 14th, 2022, a 32-year-old mother was found dead with her 15-year-old daughter outside their apartment. Jennifer Belli was preparing to take her children to school when they were attacked by someone they knew all too well when police responded to the scene. They made a disturbing discovery. A mother and her young daughter had been brutally murdered by her abusive and controlling ex-husband. This devastating act of violence came just days after she filed a restraining order in an effort to escape and protect her family from his escalating behavior. This is a disturbing story about Jennifer Belli and her daughter Anastasia. Before we dive into this heartbreaking case, please subscribe to Viral Crime Stories and turn on the bell icon. Your support helps us grow and bring you more real stories that must be told. 32-year-old Jennifer Alexandra Belli spent much of her childhood in North Lauderdale, Florida. Described by friends and family as a joyful and vibrant soul, she had a natural ability to bring light and happiness to those around her. She radiated care and compassion, extending kindness to everyone she encountered, regardless of their background or appearance. So pretty. Her love was boundless and freely given, a true reflection of her generous spirit. With her vibrant energy and infectious personality, Jennifer had an extraordinary ability to draw people in, leaving a lasting impression on everyone she met. Jennifer Belli, a high achiever from the very beginning, seemed destined for greatness. Her dreams were larger than life, fueled by unwavering determination and a drive that set her apart.
Good morning. Today's Wednesday. Today I woke up. I said I'm going to be happy. I don't care what's going on around me. I'm going to embrace the notion of happiness today. And I would like everyone that's following me on social media to do the same. Forgive that person that hurt you the most. Let that pain go. Take the initiative on your business. If you have to change something like stop smoking or anything of that nature, do it. Today's the day.
Her ambition was undeniable, and she pursued every opportunity with a fierce commitment to success. During her time in college, she honed her skills, balancing academics with her growing passion for entrepreneurship. Always aiming high, Jennifer immersed herself in learning about finance, business, and investing. She envisioned a future where she could not only achieve financial independence, but also empower others to do the same. Her time in college laid the foundation for the successful career and thriving businesses that would later define her journey. Jennifer's hard work, resilience, and passion for building a better life never wavered, and her story became one of both inspiration and unstoppable ambition. That same irresistible energy would lead her to start dating a man who would change her life in ways she never could have imagined. During her time in college, Jennifer met 32-year-old Andre O'Dane England, a fellow student with a charming demeanor and an easy smile. From the moment their paths crossed, there was an undeniable spark. Andre's charisma and confidence drew Jennifer in, and it wasn't long before they hit it off, quickly becoming inseparable. Jennifer and Andre would regularly spend time together, doing typical teenage things, hanging out and sharing dreams of the future. Their bond deepened, and before long, they were officially dating. However, there was one challenge. Jennifer wasn't allowed to have boyfriends at that age. But that didn't stop the young couple. Jennifer was smitten with Andre, and in her eyes, he could do no wrong. Their love story continued to flourish through their college years. They supported each other as they pursued their studies and navigated young adulthood together. After college and several years of dating, their connection grew even stronger. Powerful. You're annoying. And so they decided to take the next big step. The lovebirds decided to get married. Their wedding was a beautiful celebration, a day filled with love, laughter, and happy tears. Surrounded by friends and family who cheered them on, Jennifer and Andre promised to build a life together. Their future seemed bright, and for a while it appeared they were living out the love story they had dreamed of. This was the start of a new chapter in Jennifer's journey. A few months later, the couple welcomed a beautiful baby girl, Anastasia. Jennifer was beyond thrilled. She immediately embraced motherhood with open arms, dedicating herself fully to her daughter, who quickly became the center of her world. From the moment Anastasia, whom they nicknamed Nana, arrived, was not only her daughter, but her closest companion and a source of pride and inspiration. Jennifer often shared how Anastasia brought joy and unconditional love into her life. Jennifer was a dedicated mother to her baby girl and a hard-working financial services professional with a passion for helping others build better futures. She specialized in tax preparation, credit repair, and investment. Hi,
my name is Jen, and I want to share my thoughts about the PPP loan. When I say I want to share my thoughts about it, I'm not talking about the loan itself. I want to talk about my peers that actually getting granted and approved with the money, okay?
Jennifer used her expertise to assist families in achieving financial stability and success. Her entrepreneurial spirit drove her to pursue multiple ventures, including real estate, where she bought and sold homes and land with ambition and tenacity. She not only handled investments and taxes, but also ran a clothing business, showcasing her flair for creativity and her multi-faceted talents. Jennifer's ability to juggle her responsibilities, lift others up, and find joy in life's ups and downs made her a beloved figure in her community. Not long after, the family grew once more with the arrival of 2 boys. Like their older sister and Anastasia, their presence brought even more love and joy into Jennifer and Andre's household. Jennifer once again embraced motherhood wholeheartedly, cherishing every moment as her family expanded. With her nurturing spirit and boundless devotion, Jennifer poured her energy into raising her children, creating a home filled with warmth, laughter, and endless love. While Jennifer seamlessly stepped into her maternal role, the dynamics at home began to shift. Jennifer and Andre's marriage was far from stable. Andre was someone who refused to contribute financially to the household, but more than that, he also exhibited behavior that worsened their already fragile relationship. He was frequently seen smoking and spending money recklessly, which resulted in constant, frequent, heated arguments. Andre's reluctance to hold a steady job was no secret, and even family members were well aware of his unwillingness to shoulder any real responsibility for years. It was Jennifer who held the family together, working tirelessly to keep a roof over their heads, food on the table, and the household running smoothly. She was the breadwinner. While Andre's lack of motivation only added to the heavy burden she was already carrying. Little did Jennifer know, the future she had envisioned was about to take a devastating turn. Over time, Andre's behavior took a darker turn, growing increasingly oppressive and abusive. His temper flared more often, and his controlling attitude left Jennifer feeling increasingly unsafe in her own home. The love and trust that had once been the foundation of their relationship seemed to fade away with each passing day. By April 5, 2018, after enduring years of emotional abuse, mistreatment, and escalating conflict, Jennifer made the brave and difficult decision to seek a domestic violence restraining order against him. However, court documents allegedly revealed that the restraining order was quickly dropped just 18 days later when Jennifer chose not to follow through with making it permanent. But what happened next would set off a chain of events that no one could have imagined. Yet even after taking that bold step, Jennifer's compassionate nature wouldn't allow her to turn her back on Andre completely. Despite everything, she continued to support him financially, hoping that he would eventually find his footing, change his ways, and rebuild his life. She even enlisted the help of others, including the local pastor, to guide Andre towards stability and personal growth. Andre had also begun making repeated threats over the phone to end his own life. Concerned for his mental well-being, Jennifer's family would pray with him and offer words of encouragement, hoping to dissuade him from taking any drastic actions. Despite their efforts to console and uplift him, the situation continued to feel increasingly tense. Jennifer's efforts reflected her deep desire to see Andre succeed, not just for his own well-being, but for the sake of their children and the family they had built together. She genuinely believed that with enough support and encouragement, Andre might overcome his struggles and become a better, more responsible person. Nothing could prepare Jennifer for what lay ahead. Unfortunately, Jennifer's kindness and generosity were not enough to change the deeply rooted toxic dynamics that had grown in their relationship. Instead of moving toward positive change, the situation continued to deteriorate. Jennifer eventually realized she could no longer endure the situation. Determined to reclaim her peace and protect her children, she knew she had to do something. Therefore, she made an immediate decision. After years of separation and failed attempts at reconciliation, Jennifer decided to file for a divorce. As expected, this did not sit well with Andre, but Jennifer was granted the divorce officially in 2020. Following the divorce, Jennifer began the difficult process of rebuilding her life, determined to create a stable and loving environment for her children. She worked hard, eventually purchasing a home on her own and raising her children as a single mother. But Andre wouldn't let go that easily. He continued to torment Jennifer. Despite the legal end of their marriage, he frequently reappeared, making repeated threats and pressuring Jennifer to reconcile, though Jennifer firmly rejected his advances. But just when it seemed like nothing could go wrong, betrayal and greed tore her life apart as she paid the ultimate price for trusting the wrong person. On April 14, 2022, at around 9:00 a.m., police responded to a 911 emergency call at a townhome complex on the 7900 block of Tamanter Boulevard. When deputies arrived at the scene, they made a heartbreaking discovery. Outside the townhouse, emergency crews located the bodies of 2 victims who had been fatally shot. Tragically, upon closer inspection, the victims were identified as 32-year-old Jennifer Belly and her 15-year-old daughter, Anastasia. Both had suffered fatal gunshot wounds and were pronounced dead at the scene. Police immediately launched an investigation into the tragic incident. According to reports from eyewitnesses, Jennifer and her 3 children had just stepped out of their apartment when her ex-husband, 32-year-old Andre O'Dane Angling, arrived at the scene, seemingly lying in wait. In a tragic turn of events, Andre allegedly ambushed them, pulling the trigger on Jennifer before turning the gun on their 15-year-old daughter, Anastasia. The brutal attack left Jennifer and Anastasia lifeless, while the 2 younger children, miraculously unharmed, witnessed the unimaginable horror unfold.
Sheriff's deputies say it happened around 9 a.m. Wednesday. They got a call to a shooting on the 7900 block of Tam O'Shanter Boulevard. When they got here, 2 people were found shot and killed outside a home. Sky 10 showing 2 yellow tarps covering their bodies and a blue car with its doors open. A child's car seat can be seen in the back seat. 2 backpacks are on the ground. Investigators on scene for hours gathering evidence. Deputies asking anyone with information on Anglin's whereabouts to come forward.
Other eyewitnesses described the scene in vivid detail. The bodies of Jennifer and Anastasia were reportedly found outside their townhouse, one lying on the grass near the building's entrance and the other beside a blue car in the parking lot. Jennifer's driver's side and back passenger side doors were wide open, revealing a child's car seat inside. Nearby, backpacks and scattered papers littered the ground. Broward Sheriff's deputies say it happened around 9:00 a.m. Wednesday. They got a call to a shooting on the 7900 block of Tam O'Shanter Boulevard. When they got here, 2 people were found shot and killed outside a home. Sky 10 showing 2 yellow tarps covering their bodies and a blue car with its doors open. A child's car seat can be seen in the back seat. 2 backpacks are on the ground. Investigators on scene for hours gathering evidence. Deputies asking anyone with information on England's whereabouts to come forward. Jennifer's death, along with that of her young daughter Anastasia, shattered the hearts of family, friends, and the entire community. The emotional toll was immense.
And God would deal with you. My God would deal with you. My baby's life away. He took my best friend, my niece.
Also, Jennifer's mother, overwhelmed with grief, recalled her final conversation with her daughter. Jennifer had been on the phone with her, describing a suspicious figure outside the home that looked like Andre. Just moments later, she abruptly ended the call saying, "I'll talk to you later." That was the last time her mother would ever hear her voice. Broward Sheriff's Office investigators quickly identified Andre O'Dane England as the primary suspect due to his history of domestic violence and ongoing threats toward Jennifer. The tragic scene was cordoned off with police tape as devastated family members and friends gathered weeping and comforting one another.
Hunt is underway for this suspect. Local 10 News reporter Sarah Onwar is live at the scene.
And you have new details about the victim, and as well as a woman and her teenage daughter, both these victims.
That's right, Christy and Janice. We did learn those new details today. I also checked in with Broward Sheriff's Office. They say this man is still at large. The man they say killed this woman and her daughter. We also learned their identities this morning. Friends telling us Jennifer Bellany, seen in this photo, and her teenage daughter were the victims of Wednesday's horrific crime in North Lauderdale. A day later, the search continues for the man investigators say shot and killed them. The manhunt is on to find Andre O'Dane Anglin. Deputies say he's still at large.
For Jennifer and Anastasia, Jennifer's aunt described her as a loving mother, a devoted family member, and her best friend. A bond that had been cruelly taken away. As word spread, the community came together to honor Jennifer and Anastasia. Friends, neighbors, and strangers visited the scene, leaving flowers, candles, and heartfelt messages in memory of the mother and daughter whose lives have been cut short. The gravity of the situation extended beyond Jennifer's family. Nearby schools, including North Lauderdale Elementary and Silver Lakes Middle School,
the man accused of and killing a woman and teenage girl in North Lauderdale on Wednesday. Broward Crime Stoppers released this flyer offering a $5,000 reward to find Andre O'Dane Anglin. He's considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information about him, you can remain anonymous by calling Broward
were placed on lockdown as authorities searched for England. The lockdowns were lifted by noon, but the tension in the air remained. A manhunt is underway for this suspect. Local 10 News reporter Sarah Onwar is live at the scene, and you have new details about the victim and as well as a woman and her teenage daughter, both these victims. That's right, Christy and Janice. We did learn those new details today. I also checked in with Broward Sheriff's Office.
Because they were high school sweetheart. And he abused her countless times.
The physical abuse, family says, is why they were no longer together.
I know he was seeking for help, and we did our best to help him. We did our best to help him, but the only thing, she did not want to be with him anymore. She did not want to have a relationship anymore because of the trauma or the abuse that she'd been through.
Family says that Jennifer had 2 young sons. They say they were in the car ready to go to school when their mother and sister were shot dead.
She dropped her book bag and her brother's book bag trying to run for her life, and he still found a way.
Neighbors describe the horror, and another telling us the last exchange she had with one of the victims.
The young lady, I speak to her every morning. She be standing out there. I say, "Good morning." She say, "Good morning." And she say,
Suspect wanted in connection with a double homicide has been found dead. This case all started last Wednesday when 2 victims were found to death outside of their townhome along the 7900 block of Tam O'Shanter Boulevard in North Lauderdale. Those victims seen here identified as Jennifer Bellany and her daughter nicknamed Nana. Police say the daughter's father, Andre Anglin, was the only suspect in the shooting. BSO now saying Anglin shot himself inside of a bathroom at a Circle K along Sunrise Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale.
The senseless tragedy left Jennifer's loved ones grappling with unimaginable loss. Their grief was compounded by the knowledge that Jennifer had done everything she could to protect herself and her child. Yet Andre's toxic control and escalating violence had ultimately led to this horrific outcome. Because they were high school sweetheart and he abused her countless times, the physical abuse family says is why they were no longer together. I know he was seeking for help, and we did our best to help him. We did our best to help him, but the only thing, she did not want to be with him anymore. She did not want to have a relationship anymore because of the trauma, all the abuse that she's been through. Family says that Jennifer had 2 young sons. They say they were in the car ready to go to school when their mother and sister were dead. She dropped her book bag and her brother's book bag trying to run for her life, and he still found a way. Neighbors described the horror, and another telling us the last exchange she had with one of the victims. Young lady. I speak to her every morning. She'd be standing out there. I say, "Good morning?" She said, "Good morning." And she say, "I'm blessed." The heartbreak was felt deeply throughout the community as those who knew Jennifer mourned not just the loss of her life, but also the stolen future of her young daughter, Anastasia. BSO Sheriff Gregory Toney later expressed mixed emotions, commending the swift investigative work while lamenting that Jennifer and Anastasia would never see justice fully served. He referred to England as a coward who had evaded accountability by taking his own life. For Jennifer and Anastasia's loved ones, Andre's death offered only partial closure. Though it ended the immediate threat, it can never erase the devastating loss of 2 vibrant lives. Friends and family continue to honor their memories, remembering Jennifer's resilience and Anastasia's bright future, their bond, love, and positivity. The horrifying case of Jennifer Belli and her daughter Anastasia reveals the critical need for taking threats seriously and providing victims with the resources and safeguards they need to protect themselves and their loved ones. This is Viral Crime Stories. If this story moved you, please subscribe, share, and help us spread awareness about the dangers of domestic violence. Your one click makes a big difference.